a start, the government is seeking to prosecute and potentially jail an intelligence official who has done nothing more than express internally and privately his concerns about an illegal act by ASIS. And it's significant because the government thinks it's okay to take legal action against his lawyer. I mean, this must be sending a chill through the legal profession. How would you even feel being someone defending Bernard Collaery these days? The fact that we live in a country where governments will so boldly and overtly and shamelessly go after whistleblowers, go after the legal profession, and do nothing about the real crime that sits behind this. I mean, it is an undeniable fact that the Australian government in 2004 broke Australian law by spying on East Timor, but yet the government is doing nothing about that crime. It's not going after anyone, it's not holding anyone to account, and it thinks it's the right thing to do in 2018 to go after the whistleblower who's trying to highlight a crime and go after his lawyer.
I guess the next question most people are thinking, why are they doing this?
It beggars belief that the government is doing this at this time. I mean, if the government had any sense at all, they would let sleeping dogs lie and hope that the whole world's moved on. Why they would shine a light on a crime of the Howard government in 2004 like this, I think it reflects people are blinded by hatred. It's an act of bastardry, and it's also a very strong signal to other intelligence insiders and other intelligence officials that were involved in the bugging of the embassy and who knows, perhaps other illegal acts or other illegal use of the intelligence agency. It's a warning to them: don't break ranks, don't speak up, don't cause any troubles for the government, just follow orders. Well, thank God Witness K and Bernard Collaery understand that you don't just follow orders, that when you're a witness to a heinous crime, you have a moral obligation to speak up, and thank heavens they are speaking up.
But they may pay the price.
Just like you did, Andrew.
They may well pay the price, but let's just hope now that the justice system here in the ACT gives these two men a fair hearing and comes up with the outcome that we would all hope for. Obviously we can't talk about the court case itself, but I've still got a fair bit of faith in the Australian justice system. I've got a lot of faith in the Australian justice system. So let's just hope that justice prevails in this case.
I know it takes the Attorney General to sign off to have this case go ahead. Is there any way that this case can be stopped midstream now? If there were a change of government, can that be revoked? Is there anything that could stop it?
Oh, look, I'm in no doubt that if the Australian government wants to stop this, it would find a way of stopping it. This has been intensely political from day one. It was the Foreign Minister Alexander Downer in 2004 that would have signed off on the original spying on the East Timorese. It was the Attorney General George Brandis in 2013 that ordered the raids on Witness K and Bernard Collaery and the confiscation of Witness K's passport. And it's the current Attorney General, Christian Porter, who has acted on only a recommendation from the DPP and has ordered this prosecution. If Christian Porter had looked carefully at this, he would have seen that there was clearly no public interest to be served by going after Witness K and Bernard Collaery, which just highlights what an act of complete and utter bastardry this is by people who are blinded by their hatred and by people who are desperate to send a strong signal to other insiders, other intelligence officials: don't speak up. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll encourage intelligence insiders, if they are witness to dreadful crimes, then they have a moral obligation to speak up, and it will be no defence for them at the end of days to say we were simply following orders.
Is this just the conclusive evidence that we really do now?
Well, I think Nick, you offered comments on this as well. I feel we are in a pre-police state. It's fitting, we've just had the 17th anniversary of 9/11 in the US. They're having that anniversary as we speak. Since 9/11 17 years ago, more than 60 pieces of security legislation have passed the Australian Parliament. We now live in a country where every phone call we make, every website we visit, it's all recorded, stored by law, and security agencies can access without any order from the court. We live in a country where government thinks it's okay to charge a whistleblower who's doing nothing more than identifying a crime. We live in a country where a government thinks it's okay to charge a lawyer for doing nothing more than representing his client. It is a pre-police state. This is a chilling development. And I made the point earlier, and I'll make it again. This must send shockwaves through the legal profession. They will be so much more cautious now. To give you another example, the other day I offered a comment to a Hong Kong-based newspaper about our security situation. And when I wrote a few lines out to email them, my media advisor said, Andrew, just be careful saying that to a Chinese newspaper, because that could run foul of the recent foreign interference and espionage legislation. The fact that my media advisor would feel it's necessary to warn me, and he did the right thing. The fact that I had to think twice about sending a comment to a Chinese newspaper critical of the Australian government, that's the world we live in. And I really quite need to comment on that.